In the quiet hum of everyday life, a question often whispers, sometimes shouts, within the human heart, what is the meaning of it all? This isn't a question confined to philosophers or poets. It's a universal echo, reverberating through the lives of countless individuals, each on their own unique quest. Our journey begins with Alara, a young woman in her late 20s whose life, from an outsider's perspective, seemed perfectly curated. A successful career in a bustling city, a comfortable apartment overlooking a vibrant skyline, and a social circle that was both active and engaging. Yet, beneath this polished surface, a profound sense of emptiness gnawed at her. She felt like an actor in her own life, performing a role she hadn't written, reciting lines that didn't resonate with her soul. The accolades felt hollow, the laughter often forced, and the endless pursuit of more left her feeling less. She would often stand by her window late at night, watching the city lights twinkle like distant, unfeeling stars, and wonder if anyone else felt this pervasive, unsettling void. She yearned for something deeper, something that would anchor her, give her actions purpose beyond the mundane. This yearning, this quiet desperation, was the catalyst for her quest. Alara started her search in the most conventional places. She devoured self-help books, attended motivational seminars, and even dabbled in various spiritual practices. Each promised enlightenment, a secret formula to unlock inner peace and purpose. For a while, the initial excitement of a new philosophy or technique would offer a temporary reprieve, a fleeting sense of hope. She meditated, journaled, practiced mindfulness, and tried to manifest her desires. But the effect was always transient, like a sugar rush that quickly faded, leaving her more depleted than before. The answers she found felt prepackaged, generic, and ultimately, unsatisfying. They were like beautiful shells on a beach, empty of the life that once inhabited them. She began to feel a growing frustration, a sense of being perpetually misunderstood by the very systems designed to help her. The more she searched in these external avenues, the more isolated she felt, convinced that perhaps the meaning she sought was an illusion, a romantic notion that simply didn't exist in the harsh reality of the world. Her existential doubts deepened. She questioned everything: her career, her relationships, even her own identity. What was the point of striving if the destination was always the same gnawing emptiness? She started withdrawing from her social life, finding the superficial conversations unbearable. Friends noticed her change, her increasing quietness, the distant look in her eyes. They offered advice, tried to cheer her up, but their well-meaning efforts only highlighted her growing alienation. She felt like she was speaking a different language, her internal struggle invisible to those around her. The city, once a source of excitement, now felt like a suffocating cage, its relentless pace mirroring the frantic, fruitless search within her. She considered quitting her job, selling her apartment, and embarking on a journey to some remote corner of the world, convinced that a radical change of scenery might somehow magically unlock the answers. But even that thought brought no real comfort, only a different kind of anxiety. She was adrift, a ship without a compass, lost in a vast and indifferent ocean of existence. One rainy afternoon, while aimlessly wandering through an old, forgotten part of the city, Alara stumbled upon a small, unassuming community garden. It was a riot of color and life, a stark contrast to the gray concrete jungle surrounding it. An elderly woman, her face etched with a lifetime of stories, was meticulously tending to a bed of vibrant marigolds. Her hands, gnarled and earth-stained, moved with a gentle precision, a quiet reverence for the soil and the plants. Alara, drawn by an inexplicable pull, found herself stopping, simply observing. The woman, sensing her presence, looked up and offered a warm, crinkled smile. "Beautiful, aren't they?" she said, her voice soft and melodious. Each one a tiny miracle. That simple interaction marked a subtle but profound shift in Alara's journey. The woman, whose name was Anya, invited Alara to help. Hesitantly at first, Alara joined her, learning to distinguish weeds from seedlings, to feel the texture of the soil, to understand the delicate balance of nature. Anya didn't offer grand philosophies or profound pronouncements. Instead, she spoke of the rhythm of the seasons, the resilience of a tiny seed, the interconnectedness of all living things. She shared stories of her own life, of hardships overcome, of simple joys found in unexpected places. She spoke of the satisfaction of nurturing something, of watching it grow, of contributing to something larger than oneself. Alara found herself listening, truly listening, for the first time in a long while. There was no pressure, no expectation, just the quiet companionship of shared labor and the gentle wisdom of a life well lived. The garden became her sanctuary, a place where the incessant chatter of her own mind began to quiet, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the buzzing of bees. As weeks turned into months, Alara spent more and more time in the garden. She learned to plant, to prune, to harvest. She felt the sun on her skin, the earth beneath her fingernails. She witnessed the cycle of life and death, the constant renewal. She saw how a tiny seed with care and patience could transform into a magnificent bloom, providing sustenance and beauty. She began to understand that meaning wasn't something to be found in abstract concepts or grand declarations, but in the tangible act of creation, in the simple act of caring. She started noticing the small details she had previously overlooked, the intricate patterns on a leaf, the delicate scent of a blooming rose, the vibrant colors of a sunset. Her senses, long dulled by her internal struggle, began to awaken. One day, a group of children from a nearby orphanage visited the garden. Anya had organized a small workshop for them, teaching them how to plant their own seeds. Alara, initially hesitant, found herself guiding a shy little girl named Lily, helping her dig a small hole and gently place a sunflower seed within it. Lily's eyes, wide with wonder, looked up at Alara, a pure, unadulterated joy radiating from her. In that moment, as Alara watched Lily carefully water her tiny seed, a warmth spread through her chest, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. It wasn't the fleeting excitement of a new idea, but a deep, resonant sense of purpose. She wasn't just planting a seed, she was planting hope, nurturing a connection, sharing a moment of pure, unburdened joy. This experience with Lily and the other children was a profound turning point. Alara realized that the meaning she had been so desperately searching for wasn't a solitary pursuit, but a shared experience. It wasn't about finding a grand, overarching answer to the universe's mysteries, but about the small, everyday acts of connection, of giving, of contributing to the well-being of others. It was in the shared laughter, the gentle touch, the quiet understanding. She started volunteering more regularly at the garden, not just for the plants, but for the people who came there, the elderly, the lonely, the children. She found herself listening to their stories, offering a helping hand, sharing her own experiences. In these interactions, she discovered a profound sense of belonging, a feeling of being truly seen and valued, not for what she achieved, but for who she was. Alara's perspective on her own life began to shift dramatically. Her career, once a source of dissatisfaction, now seemed like an opportunity to create positive change, to use her skills to contribute to something meaningful. Her relationships, once strained by her internal struggles, began to blossom as she approached them with a newfound openness and authenticity. She no longer felt the need to perform, to pretend. She embraced her vulnerabilities, shared her journey, and in doing so, forged deeper, more genuine connections. The city, once a symbol of her alienation, now felt like a vibrant tapestry of interconnected lives, each thread contributing to the whole. She realized that meaning wasn't a destination to be reached, but a journey to be embraced. It wasn't a fixed point, but a dynamic process, constantly evolving and unfolding. It was in the act of living, of loving, of connecting, of contributing. It was in the quiet moments of reflection, the shared laughter with a friend, the warmth of the sun on her face, the gentle touch of earth in her hands. The emptiness she once felt had been replaced, not by a grand revelation, but by a rich tapestry of small interconnected moments, each imbued with its own unique significance. She understood that the quest for meaning wasn't about finding a single definitive answer, but about cultivating a life rich in experiences, in relationships, and in acts of kindness. The echoes of meaning, she discovered, were not distant and elusive, but resonated within the very fabric of her everyday life, waiting to be heard, to be felt, to be embraced.